Hey guys, I'm Rose Alaimo. Today we're going to talk about Yellow Balloons, which is the 6th song on my new solo rock album, Grow. Hello, welcome back to the Grow Show. I'm your lovely host. Yellow Balloons is a song about depression and loneliness, straight up, which is hilarious because I believe that this is the first episode I'm recording of this where the sun is actually out. So that's a nice dichotomy. We'll take that for what it's worth. So a song about depression and loneliness on an album like this, like Grow, which is about mental, emotional, and spiritual growth and the stumbling blocks along the way. It's obviously based on personal experience. I have at times struggled with these feelings of depression and loneliness in my life, and they sure as hell do slow you down. So I've talked in some previous episodes how I just a couple months ago left a career I'd been in for 12 years. But backing up even further, it's not one that I even entirely 100% wanted to enter in the first place. I made the decision to do it. I mean, partially from fear, pressure, and to make certain people happy, which are horrible reasons to make a decision. So don't repeat my mistakes. In order to enter the career that I was in, I was a veterinarian for 12 years. It's kind of a massive commitment. Like when you think that you want to do it, it's a big thing to take on. So not only time-wise, like in the US, it's 8 years of college, but financially in a very big way. Like this education is not cheap. So basically, like when you get on that train, you're kind of locked in for a very long time. It's a lot to chew. So I'm looking at this, right after finishing college and right before starting medical school, I'm staring at this mountain and it's like my last chance to bail, and I'm starting to feel kind of crushed by it. I went through a pretty bleak period and was super depressed for a couple of months. I just felt like my life was on this like runaway roller coaster and I wanted to get off. But I didn't really know, I didn't think I knew how to stop it. I was pretty sure I didn't want to continue on the path I was on, but also felt paralyzed and sank into some pretty low lows. I wanted to try to write a song about how I was feeling about depression with no filter, right? So I didn't want to sing about depression. I wanted the song to be depression. So I wrote Yellow Balloons and actually recorded it. This is actually the original recorded song, during this period 17 years ago. And it was actually right around the time that I wrote Orchid and Mermaids. Orchid was probably my most popular song yet. So they were all kind of written about the same time within the same couple of months. So this recording was the one I did. I didn't update it. I actually lost the track, so I couldn't. All I had was the mixed wave. And so we kind of tweaked it. And, Jamie and I, my producer, tweaked it to make it, sound a little better. And thankfully it was mixed pretty well back then. But being the original, this is me, singing, playing guitar and bass when I was 22 or so, right in the middle of that massive depression, which is good because, when I wasn't sure if this mix would be appropriate for the album, if it would be good enough. And I thought to myself, is this really a song that I can go back and redo, right? It's hard to fake that feeling when you're not in it. So I'm really glad that it was good the way it was, so I didn't have to, dig back in and try to fake my way through singing in a super depressed way. The only thing I did update were the drums. So I added those, when we were sprucing it up to put it on the album. So why is a song called Yellow Balloons? Why is a happy title for such a downer ass song? So during this kind of funk that I was in my early 20s, in order to just keep my mind from going into darker places, I would just binge watch movies. I'd sometimes watch 3 in a day, if I wasn't at work. And one of the movies that I stumbled on was this indie Australian movie called Deckchair. No one's heard of this movie. It was just a fun rom-com, but it was light and the colors in it were so vibrant and it just made me happy. So I watched it a bunch of times. It's basically about this guy who lives in the city. He's not entirely thrilled with his life. And one day on a dare, he ties a bunch of these yellow big helium balloons to a lawn chair and sits on it. And it lifts him up and dumps him in some small town, miles and miles away from where he was. And he just finds a lot of happiness there. So I named the song Yellow Balloons because, during this time of my life, I kind of felt like I was looking for another path or something that would help me get off the one I was on, but just couldn't seem to find one. So like, I couldn't find the mystical, you know, yellow balloons that would magically kind of take me out of where I was. That is the weird thing about depression, you know, it's like quicksand, like it really completely sucks you in. And the scariest part about it is like when you're in it, you don't even feel like you have the strength or even like the desire to do what you have to do to get yourself out. It's like, it's completely binding. And this really threw me for a loop during that period. You know, I thought I really did want to change my circumstances. I did. And yet I kept moving forward, you know. Like, you know, maybe, and I asked myself, like, maybe I like don't really want to change them bad enough, you know, because if I really did, I would probably do something, you know. It just kind of got to this self-doubt thing in my head. You know, it's hard. I mean, depression, it can be like, you know, you're at the bottom of a well and you're not really happy about being there, but you don't actually want to move either. And that's what makes it just super difficult to manage, you know.
Sometimes when you want something so much, you really don't want it enough. Sometimes.
So, you know, these videos, again, you know, we're talking about this album that I just put out. It's an exploration. It's a personal exploration. So things that I've encountered that have kind of slowed me down on a path towards something better, you know. It sucks and it's kind of weird to sit here and talk about how horrible depression is and just kind of leave it at that. I mean, I think that it's something everybody goes through at certain points of their life. I'm fortunate it's not something that I deal with chronically. I think I did when I was younger. I had some therapy and changed things, and, you know, in my case, thankfully, it's not something that sticks around. I think the standard stuff applies, right? Like, if you think that you're depressed, I get that it's kind of like part and parcel with it, that it makes it even hard to want to reach out or like want to get yourself out of this hole. But, you know, if you can find it in yourself to reach out to somebody, like anybody that you trust, like whatever, a friend or a therapist or a teacher or whatever. I think in my case, personally, I'm no expert, but I have found that helpful. Not that they can like yank you out of it, but maybe just kind of getting you out of your own head for a little bit, or maybe, you know, putting you in touch with somebody that might be able to help you out. So thanks guys for sticking around for another fun episode. I'm going to see you next week with song number 7, which is Mermaids. That's a little bit of a happier one. It's a fun rocker. It should be a good time. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If so, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, share them with your friends, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. And, you know, as always, I'm pretty reachable through social media and stuff. So if you have questions or anything you want to say about these, I would love to hear from you. That's all we got. So I'll see you next week. Take care.